Hey everybody! How's your night going? I know, it's like, how late? It's 10:46 p.m. But I just wanted to hop on live real quick to talk about first impressions. It's been something I've been thinking about all day long, and I'm really excited. I'm using this new little setup I have because I'm hands-free. So, I'm trying to get my angle right, it's slightly off, so don't worry, this was just a test. But I did want to talk about first impressions on social media. So, how many of you have ever engaged in the comments of somebody else's post, or you've engaged in the comments on a news post, a city post, things like that? If you've ever done that, or you've just read the comments because you wanted to see what people were getting up in arms about, put a 1 in the comments. And also say hello. Tell me what's up. So, something that I was thinking about, and this one story I had in particular that I wanted to tell, was in regards to an impression I had of somebody that changed. So I'm not going to use the names in case this person actually ever watched it. I want to keep their identity safe, just because I would rather keep that, I guess you could say, private. So just to keep them safe. So I met this individual a couple of years ago, and my first impression of them was like, wow, they've been through a lot in life. They must know how to handle themselves now. They've been through so much. They've been through a couple of divorces. Things have been really tough, and it's hard to, I'm sure it's hard to open up to other people and to even want to start a relationship again. So, the day I met this individual was in the evening. I was at work, and they decided to tell me their life story. And just listening to their life story, they were very charismatic and charming and talked very much about themselves, which was fine. I mean, we were just getting to introduce ourselves to one another, helping people at work, all that stuff. And it was very interesting to me because something in my intuition was telling me, maybe you should keep your distance from this one. Maybe you should. Me being a very loyal person whenever I make friends, I didn't want to keep my distance, and I wanted to stay friends. I wanted to be a good friend, be a loyal friend. If I am your friend, I'm committed to being your friend. Do you know how many people I've asked on here, on Facebook, over the years to hang out with me or go have lunch so we can catch up, different things like that? A lot. And some of them, it's taken 2 or 3 years for it to finally happen. If Taylor or Courtney Standiford ever watch this, I'm sorry. We need to hang out. You only live a couple blocks from me. So, needless to say, hey Melee, I'm doing a take 2. I was trying it again. Needless to say, what happened with this individual is rumors started to spread about this person again and again, and it was like, but that's not how they are with me. That's not how this person has been acting with me. I'm really confused. And I wanted to give this person the benefit of the doubt because they hadn't acted that way with me. My first impression of them was that they know how to take care of themselves. They know how to be responsible. Well, come to find out, there were little things that they had lied to me and a couple of other friends about. And I was just like, that's not the truth that you told me. So, again, my instinct was like, maybe you should keep your distance from this person. And as time continued to go on, I had pretty deep conversations with this individual. I felt like we were getting to be good friends, that we understood each other, on a deeper level in that sense that, friends bond over, really getting to understand what this other person was going through, because this person had been through a lot of tough stuff in their life. Oh, thanks! Compared to what else was going on. And so I just was like, I don't know. Well, more information came out, and they wound up not working in the same place as me anymore. And there was a lot of rumors and gossip and stuff about said person. Now, I don't like telling this part of the story because it shows my flaws. And I'm telling this story to also show that I'm human just like you. and I make mistakes too. And what had happened is, instead of letting my person explain themselves, I decided to listen to the rumors this time. I decided to make a new assumption based off of all the stuff that was being said about them, forgetting my first impression of them. And again, my gut instinct was like, maybe you should keep your distance from them, only because there was just so much drama surrounding this person that I convinced them, or convinced a couple of friends and myself, to no longer speak to this individual. And I am not usually the mean girl, if you can believe it. Seriously, I'm human too. I have mean thoughts. I will fess up to that. I have mean thoughts sometimes, okay? And I'm sorry for that. Now, I am sorry in the sense of, after I did cut this person out of my life, like, I literally, like, I blocked their number, blocked them on social media, so did my friends. Hey, Lani. You might know this story, actually. So, a couple of, no. We're not slashing anybody's tires. I actually haven't seen this person since 2015. Yeah, I haven't seen this person since 2015. Yeah, that's been when. So, what happened in the end of this, several months later, I felt guilty for how I treated this person, and recognizing that wasn't a really good lasting impression I left on them. And I like to live with the belief that I choose to leave people better than I found them. I want to give more to people around me than to take from them. I want to give them something of value, whether it's just a simple experience. Anyways, I digress. I sent a message to this person apologizing for my actions several months ago and how guilty I felt, and I was hoping maybe they might choose to forgive me. And, well, this individual replied back to me in an unkind manner, and not necessarily threatened me, but just was like, don't ever contact me again, I don't want to hear from you. And that was hard to take. Not knowing one of my other friends I had convinced to not talk to them anymore either had actually reached out 3 days prior saying the same thing. He thought I was pulling his leg and that we were just playing another joke, when that was not the case at all. I sincerely, and I still do, sincerely feel sorry for the way I made this person feel. I chose to make them feel bad. I chose to stop being their friend at a time when they really needed a loyal friend to be there for them the most. And it's not fun to talk about that. And I recognize, yeah, that was really crappy of me to be a really bad friend. What I said at the beginning of my video makes me sound like a hypocrite now, because I totally was not a loyal and committed friend like I said I am. Like I said I am. Excuse me, I'm not crying, I promise. Something was in my throat. So, I was like, okay, well, I guess nothing's happening with that. Well, a couple of months later, I come to find out this friend that I had reached back out to apologize was talking to one of my other girlfriends. And she was just like, hey, he's going to talk to you. So, got my number, we talked, and this person said, I forgive you. And I was blown away. I was like, wait, what? I forgive you. And I was like, okay. Now, mind you, this was all via text. We didn't speak on the phone. We didn't meet up in person. This was via text, okay? There's a lot of context that was missed. I don't know if it was actually meant with sarcasm or if it was genuinely meant, but I took it as it was genuine because I always like to see the good in other people. Now, I am coming up to the end of this story. Because I asked earlier today on Facebook, true or false, your first impression of someone never changes. And a lot of people said, true, you have the first experience you had with them, and then your perception of them can change after time. Or false. Same thing. Almost the same context. So if you go read it, there's a lot of amazing comments on there and a lot of really cool perspectives. And I think everybody is right in their own fashion. Now, to get to the end of my story here, it was, last contact I had with them was in March of almost last contact. March of 2017, we're talking, I told them that I was pregnant with my second baby. We were just kind of catching up a little bit, talking here and there. And it was just a little bit of banter or whatever. I mean, it kind of felt like, okay, cool, that's normal. And then it wasn't until August of 2017 that one of my girlfriends and I, we were at dinner and we were like, oh my gosh, we should have a party for this TV show premiere that we've been dying to watch. And we never had that party like we said at work that we were going to have. And I was like, oh, let me text them. Let me see if they want to join in too. This is where things changed. Are you still with me? I'm almost done. Things changed because I texted them and they're like, oh yeah? Well, why is it that we never had that party? Oh, that's right, because you're a little goody two-shoes Mormon who, like, oh my gosh, yeah. It goes on. I kept that text message for the longest time and reread it because it was clear in the message. This person actually didn't really mean the I forgive you when they said it, and that was really hard to take. And the fact of the matter is, if you think about it, let's say you've been burned so bad. Let's say you've literally lost everything, and the people you thought were your closest friends turn their backs on you. I, in a sense, burned that bridge enough to the point of no return. That's what had actually happened. Turns out this person's perception of me was actually not good. And my impression of them was maybe they have changed, maybe they haven't. I just wasn't sure now because it was clearly didn't forgive me. And they were like, well, I'm going to blackmail you, I'm going to tell you this and tell you that. And I was like, let's talk on the phone. They wouldn't answer their phone. Not sure if this person was drunk when they were texting me back. But that's the last contact I had with them ever since. Until somebody posted about them a couple months ago. And I was like, hold the phone. I'm like, you know this person? I was like, you know them? What? So I talked to this new friend of mine about the person that I had hurt. And I just asked some questions. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's kind of really cool. So this person had actually been working with a life coach that I'm connected to she's an amazing manifester. She's really, really cool. And people aren't going to know what I'm talking about when I talk about this part. But she interviewed him on this podcast. So I listened to the podcast episode and had just heard the story. And the thing is, it just really kind of sucked to hear, wow, I was a part of that time. Like, I was a part of that time in their life when they were feeling lonely and when they were feeling hurt. And I still wish that I could have given them space to explain themselves, to be a good friend, and let them have their say in what was happening. But you can't change the past. I made my choices, and they made their choices. We kind of have to live with it. Now, that being said, thinking about first impressions again, I actually don't know what this individual's first impression of me ever was. I mean, enough that they liked me, they wanted to be my friend. I am a very friendly person. But to know that they thought of me as lying and conniving and selfish kind of sucked. So our perceptions of each other changed over time. We still have that first impression when we met to now. I don't know what they think of me anymore. I only wish them the best. And I know that things are better in their life after listening to that podcast episode. And it made me happy to hear that things had turned around for the better. It was exciting. It was like so cool. It's like I wish I could reach out to you and congratulate you that life is going so well and that, you're happy. But sometimes you have to just learn from your mistakes. And sometimes you're that flawed human being, like everyone is flawed, you need to own up to your mistakes. And it took me a long time to admit that I was selfish and that I was rude in this instance by not giving space to my friend to let them talk, and by not choosing to be there for my friend because I chose to listen to all of the other gossip and lies and things that other people were saying about them. Sorry, my phone's getting so many messages on there. Woo! Okay, about that. So I am in agreement with a lot of people on my posts that your first impression is what it is and that it's there, but it can change over time. My first impression changed and then kind of went back because I still do wish to see the good in other people. So, I mean, if you have any other stories or you want to tell me something that happened with you, I'd love to hear your story. And for those of you who watched all the way to the end of my long story here on Facebook, thanks for listening. Just something I wanted to talk about tonight, only because so much gets missed on social media. And truthfully, we cause ourselves a lot of unnecessary anxiety and stress because we put so much stock into what somebody else says on a Facebook post, on a reply, on a comment, in a debate. We can't even have a heated debate anymore because everyone is so upset because they're all going based off of reacting on emotion instead of understanding this person has a different perspective from my perspective. I want to hear them out, and let's come to an agreement. Can we agree to disagree, that we both hold different opinions, but we can explain where we're coming from and still find a way to meet in the middle? If only the rest of the country might be able to do something like that. Maybe I should get into politics. Just kidding! Not happening. I don't even know. I couldn't handle that. That would be way too much stress in my life. So, but there's a lot that's missed, and I want to share more messages helping people find ways to get out of that anxiety, that fear of missing out, or FOMO, because of social media can still be so isolating when it was built to connect us to other people. And the fact that it can be so isolating and cause so much for an individual to feel that loneliness, to feel that sadness, to feel their depression, whatever the case may be in their life, I want to be able to help people find a way around that, to not listen to the other voices that are out there and to find their own. So, if you want to talk more one-on-one or have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. Let me know what's going on. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.